ladies and gentlemen. I am sick. So my voice sucks. This is a bit of this episode number 188, I think. This is a bit of a flu game. We're doing the flu game right now. This is Michael Jordan's flu game, and I am not well. Yeah, episode 188. It is the day after Thanksgiving. I was a little bit sick on Thanksgiving. I may have super spread to my entire extended family. But and I also made mac and cheese. So it could have been a situation of typhoid Mary, which would not be good. But I'm alive. I'm trooping. I got to get the episode out, and I'm excited to get the episode out because we got some good news. I finished a book, so like always. Oh, also, if this is your first time, God, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm sick. I am sick. I might sneeze. I will attempt to sneeze away from the microphone. But this is yeah. If this is your first time here, welcome to the podcast. If you're returning, thank you for your continued support. This is a bit of a for the new people here. This is a bit of a news slash conspiracy slash entertainment slash education podcast. I think I have to say education because of how much stuff I have to actually dispute with YouTube. So a lot of this is for your educational purposes. So that being said, let's just get right into the book review. If you don't want to listen to the book review, just skip 10 minutes ahead. But this was an actual really, really good book. So, I mean, I'm going to give a little bit of spoilers, but this book is great. So, I read Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. So, I was looking at what books to read, and this book came up because people say that this is the best work of fiction of the 20th century. So this is like literally number one on a lot of people's list. So, where do I even start with this book? This book is trippy as hell. When I was reading this book, from the very first page, I was confused. And then at the last page, I was confused. But in the middle, it kind of like stuff was making sense. And then at the very end, stuff was making no sense. In a very cool way. This book is split into four major parts. The first part is the introduction. And the introduction is written by, obviously it's written by the author, Vladimir Nabokov. But in the book, the foreword is written by this guy named Kinboat. And he's this professor at this college, and he's writing this introduction to the second part called Pale Fire, which is a poem within this book called Pale Fire. So this book is called Pale Fire. The foreword is about a fictional poem called Pale Fire. So the foreword is introducing Pale Fire, which is a poem written by his friend John Shade. So the poem, actually, when I read it, I skipped the poem because that's how he said. In the foreword, he said, skip the poem and read the third part. The third part, which is commentary. And the commentary actually takes up, commentary starts on page 73 and ends on page what page? It ends on page 301. So, or on 299. So the entire bulk of the book is commentary on this poem. Now, because I skipped the poem, I have no idea what the poem's about, except for the little bits that he gives. So he gives a little snippet, and then he ties that into the story that he's trying to tell, that Kinboat is trying to tell. The commentary is all from Kinboat, the guy who wrote the foreword. So the commentary part is taking little snippets of the poem and trying to tell his own story because he's obviously narcissistic and he wants his story to be immortalized by this very good writer John Shade. And the whole book is about him trying to tell this story of how a king had to flee his country called Zembla, with his wife, and then his wife got away, and he got stuck in the castle, and then he had to escape out of a secret tunnel, and then he went to America, and throughout the story, spoiler alert, you find out that Professor Kinboat, the guy who's writing this, actually is the king, and that's why he has such deep relations to the story. But when you actually finish the entire commentary part, which talks about the story of this Zemblan king, and then you read the poem's actually an autobiographical poem about John Shade, by John Shade, and it has nothing to do with the story of Zembla. So now, because I read the poem, I'm reading this, and I'm like, wow, this poem's actually crazy good. The poem is actually so good, though. I'll read a little bit of. I actually hate poetry, but I'll read you a little bit of the poems. We die. Oh God, my voice sucks for reading. For we die every day. Oblivion thrives, not on dry thigh bones, but on bloody, ripe lives. And our best yesterdays are now foul piles of crumpled names, phone numbers, and foxed files. I'm ready to become a floweret or a fat fly, but never to forget. And I'll turn down eternity unless the melancholy and the tenderness of mortal life, the passion and the pain, the claret tail light of the dwindling plane. So the poem talks about his life, and John Shade's daughter kills herself. It's actually a very moving poem. And I like the poem a lot. I mean, this author's, crazy good. To be able to do two perspectives and have two stories running parallel within the same book is actually kind of crazy. Let's see. Oh, I underlined a lot on this one. Let's see. There is one part that I really did like of the poem. Oh yeah. This part is, so if you've ever seen the movie Blade Runner 2047, then you'll know this part. I can't tell you how I knew, but I did know that I had crossed the border. Everything I loved was lost, but no aorta could report regret. A sun of rubber was convulsed and set. The blood-black nothingness began to spin. The system of cells interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within one stem, and the dreadfully distinct against the dark a tall white fountain played. So he's talking about this John Shade. He had a heart attack, and for an instant he thought he saw what is beyond. He thought he saw death, which was a white fountain. I don't even know where to start with dissecting this book. It's just trippy. It is a trippy book. It is it's two stories, and then in the end you have to wonder, so is he actually the king of Zembla escaped, or is he just a crazy dude? And then the poem ends, and this is another spoiler, with him sort of John Shade predicting his own death at the hands of a guy named Gratis, or Jack Gray. So Jack Gray is two people escaped from an insane asylum who tried to shoot. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of theories. So, I don't even know where to start. So, Kinboat, and I don't know if any of this makes sense. I really don't know if any of this makes sense. It barely makes sense to me. But Kinboat was staying in a castle, but that used to be owned by, or is being rented by, a judge. So this guy who's in an insane asylum comes and tries to shoot Kinboat, maybe because he knows he's the king, or maybe because he thinks that he's the judge, and that's kind of up in the air. but he misses and kills John Shade. And the poem ends before it ends on line 199 or 999, but it's a couplet poem, so it should end on an even number. Strange. But he didn't get to finish it because he died. That's the whole thing. But he did finish it, if we are to believe Kinboat. So it's a super cool book. I had to give it a 9 out of 10. There were some parts that were like really boring in the commentary part. Some parts were really dense, and at some points I'm just like, what am I reading? Why am I reading this? But it came together really nicely. Unique experience. I've never read anything like this. I feel like he's like the first person to do sort of a what are those, like the things online with the augmented reality where he like puts clues and stuff. I feel like he's the first person to ever do that. It's like a puzzle within a book, and you've got like sources and links and stuff like that. And then this source will tell you to look on page 150. 150 will tell you to look there, and then so it's cool. It's unique. It's trying to do something, and it's trying to say something about the afterlife and what happens. There's a lot of nice passages in here. And I mean, you can't ask for anything more in a book. So I got to give this 9 out of 10. Great book. That being said, let's get into the news. Oh, sorry. I had a sneeze. I just paused for it. I had a full-on attack. Okay. Let's go on to the news. I hate this. God gives his toughest challenges to his strongest warriors. I have to remember that. I get sick like a motherfucker too. I don't know why, but when I get like the slightest illness, everything is just shitty. Oh God. Okay. Focus. We're in it. We're locked in. We are locking in. Okay. This news, I wanted to start off with something a little bit conspiratorial, maybe. Reclusive Rothschild family heir found dead in $1 million Laurel Canyon mansion after house fire. So there's a lot of good tidbits in this. First off, Rothschilds. Rothschild, if you don't know who they are, I mean, you should, but they are one of the 13, they say that they're one of the 13 sub family bloodlines. So there's like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, at one point I think the Kennedys. So they're the people that control things. And they're like bloodlines. So they go back super far, super rich, lots of control. They're part of the 13 lower bloodlines. Now there's a set of 13 superior bloodlines. And these are like, I believe, like Medici. These are ancient bloodlines, and these are the people that control stuff behind the scenes. Rothschilds control things. I mean, believe it or not, they are in front of things. Like, they have a face. They're the face of the banking organization. The Rothschilds, you know their names. Like, the Rothschilds is a known name. The real people that control the planet are the sort of the black nobility. Guys, if you want to look this up, melt your brain on, I don't know, go to Rumble or something. But the black nobility is the Medicis. There's a bunch. There's 13 of like the superior, the real 13 bloodlines. But Rothschilds, they are a major player in the world, but they're not like, I mean, they're major players. But so that's Rothschilds. Rothschilds, if you break it out to its what the name means, Roth means red, and Schild means shield. So that means red shield. Some say this might be an indication of the shield of blood, or their after the Holocaust, for instance. Some people say, guys, I don't want to be taken off YouTube, so I'm not even going to go too deep into it, but they say it's the red shield or red cross, which is connected somehow to the Rothschilds. Guys, there's a lot. I don't have it all on lock, but But Rothschilds, I mean, serious money. They own. It started with this guy named Mayer Rothschild, and he, I guess, de Rothschild, Mayer de Rothschild, and he had 5 sons, and he started a banking. He was a banking prodigy, and he sent his 5 sons to Europe, to Paris, England, Germany, Italy. So they set up a major bank in each of those places, and the Rothschilds control all the banking system in Europe through them, through those initial Rothschild family offspring. That's why it's like a succession of bloodline. So, but now, I mean, I guess all the kids, I can't even imagine that the kids are very good at doing things. They all just kind of like, they're just rich. Like after a certain amount of generations of being rich, you just don't have to do anything anymore. So this guy, an heir to the prominent Rothschild family, had died after a house fire broke out in his Laurel Canyon house. William Rothschild was found in the $1 million new Los Angeles on Friday. The Rothschilds are a prominent Jewish family which immigrated from Germany and had long been staples of the banking world, most notably during 18th and 19th century. The Rothschilds were once widely considered to have amassed the largest private fortune on earth, according to the Los Angeles Times. Currently, the family is spread all over the world and maintains interest in financial services, energy, real estate, other sectors, aka banking. It is stated that several of its prominent members have become high society and philanthropic fixtures in London, Paris, and beyond. So, obvious connections to the elite, and I don't know if you know this, but to amass trillions of dollars, literally probably trillions of dollars, you can't be a good person. So a lot of them are not good people. They take advantage. They own the banks, and if you've ever looked at interest rates recently, you know that banks are scams, dude, scammers. But why can't we just have nice things and have like no interest rate? Why do we have to have, like, why is it necessary? I don't even want to get into it, but why is it necessary to have interest rates and shit? Like, can't we all just be chill? I don't want to get into it, but I do want to get into the second part of this, which is interesting. Laurel Canyon. So when I read this, I remembered something about Laurel Canyon, so I had to do a little bit of digging, but I found Laurel Canyon is actually the center for sort of the birth of the hippie generation. And if you know anything about the hippie generation, this was pretty much sparked by the government's involvement in MK Ultra, aka their experimentation with LSD. So through Laurel Canyon, you had the likes of the Byrds, David Crosby, John Phillips, the Mamas and the Papas. Don't know them. Frank Zappa might be the most prominent one from the Laurel Canyon group. And Neil Young, Stephen Stills, and most notably in this situation is Jim Morrison, who is the lead singer of The Doors. So Jim Morrison's dad, if you don't know this, who is his dad? Well, we're going to have to go back in time. We're going to go to the first week of 1964, and U.S. warships under the command of the U.S. Navy Admiral George Stephen Morrison have allegedly come under attack while patrolling Vietnam's Tonkin Gulf. So if you don't know the Tonkin Gulf situation, the Gulf of Tonkin, this is maybe false flag operation where we were able to commit atrocities and invade Vietnam. So this event, subsequently dubbed the Tonkin Gulf Incident, will result in the immediate passing by the U.S. Congress of the obviously pre-drafted Tonkin Gulf Resolution, which will in turn quickly lead to America's deep immersion in the bloody Vietnam quagmire. Before it is over, well over 50,000 American bodies, along with literally millions of Asian bodies, will litter the battlefields of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. So, the Gulf of Tonkin is what sparked off the Vietnam War. And that guy, Commander George Stephen Morrison, his son Jim Morrison is the lead singer of The Doors. Now, was he an MK Ultra victim? I don't know. I'm just stating the facts, and you guys can do what you want with the facts. Just applying you with actual facts. Now, what else is in Laurel Canyon? Well, Lookout Mountain Air Force Station is in in Laurel Canyon. It is formerly used as a defense site, which today still is the private residence of Jared Leto in the Laurel Canyon neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. The military installation produced motion pictures and still photographs for the United States Department of Defense and the Atomic Energy Commission. So it was a lookout station where they could film from afar nukes being tested. So I guess that's what they were doing. They were making film. An interesting tidbit here is one of the people that bought, a guy named Bernie, he's a Indian actor. He bought this lookout mansion, the Lookout Mountain Air Force Station, for $50,000 in like 1960. So, and this was from him. He implied that the same soundstage was used for a photo shoot a moon landing backup in case of transmission failure or original landing. These claims have been disputed. Okay, guys, this is quote unquote. These claims have been disputed through, though, by historians such as Ned O'Gorman, whoever that is. As while Birdie may have found what he thought was the moon landing scene, however, since by the mid-1960s, Lookout Mountain's function had shifted, filming Vietnam informational films for the military. The scenes and sets would be deserts, which could be misconstrued as the moon. So, guys, it wasn't the moon. It was actually deserts to film Vietnam propaganda. So it's weird that all this stuff is kind of circling Laurel Canyon. Strange. A little bit odd. Now, back to the Rothschilds family. I did want to... So, a little bit of backstory on the Rothschilds family. I don't know how long this video will be up on YouTube. But the influence of the Balfour Declaration... So, they came to power through banking, obviously, but one of their major contributions was the Balfour Declaration, which, if you don't know what this is the literal invention of Israel. Guys, Israel's not an ancient country. It was invented in like 1940 whatever, after World War II, 1948. I gotta sneeze. I gotta pause. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. The influence of the Balfour Declaration on the course of post-World War events was immediate. According to the mandate system created by the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, Britain was entrusted with the temporary administration of Palestine with the understanding that it would work on behalf of both Jewish and Arab inhabitants. Many Arabs in Palestine and elsewhere were outraged by the failure to receive a nationhood and self-government they had been led to expect in return for their participation in the war against Turkey. So once again, Palestinians receiving the bad side of every deal. So they participate in a war against Turkey, and then are, I guess, their space is given to the Jewish people. So in the years after World War I, the Jewish population in Palestine increased dramatically, along with instances of Jewish-Arab violence, which we don't like. And I assume it goes both ways, but just violence in general. Because those people are like water and oil. It is not good. The area's instability led Britain to delay making a decision on Palestine's future, but the aftermath of World War II and the terrors of the Holocaust, growing international support for Zionism led to the official declaration in 1948 with the creation, the Nation of Israel. That is from history.com. So that's sort of the red shield. So Israel... Okay, so this is where we enter conspiracy land. So hold tight. Hold tight. YouTube, please hold tight. Please be chill. Please be chill. The Rothschilds family bought their red shield through the Holocaust. So that's their shield of blood. The Holocaust is the Jewish shield of blood. If that makes sense. It's a metaphorical shield of blood. Now you can't criticize anything about Jewish people because they have a shield of blood. That is their metaphorical shield of blood. That is their red shield, their Rothschild. That being said, I'm not going to go too into it. There was this one interesting news clipping, the restoration of the Jews. So, it should be obvious by now the Rothschilds are Jewish. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but Baron Rothschild was engaged and furnished of the goddamn. Baron Rothschild has engaged to furnish to the Turkish Sultan the enormous sum of 35 million pietries in 3 installments without interest on condition of the Sultan's engaging for himself and his successors to yielding to Baron Rothschilds forever the sovereignty of Jerusalem and the territory of ancient Palestine, which was occupied by the 12 tribes. The Baron's intervention is to grant to the rich Israelites who are scattered about the different parts of the world proportions of that fine country, where he proposes to establish seniorities, and to give them, as far as possible, the ancient and sacred laws. So this is a news clipping of, proof of Lord Baron Rothschild's attempting to buy Israel in 1829. I gotta sneeze again. All right. Okay. Guys, we're powering through. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for the love of the game. This is my flu game. I don't have the flu. This is just a tough one for me to get through, guys. But yeah, this is a news clipping from 1829, which is one of the OG Rothschilds who attempted to buy Israel. His great-great-grandson would achieve that through the Balfour Declaration when he literally bought Israel and gave it to his people, which we're going to see in a few years if they get to keep it all. So, yeah, there's your little history lesson. I like to do a little bit of a history tour sometimes, especially when we have interesting news stories about reclusive Rothschild's family. Also, this is interesting. I tried to search the Rothschild's family tree, and it's very hard to find all the members. I couldn't even find this guy, William Rothschild, this guy who died. I couldn't find him on any family tree. I asked ChatGPT, who is this guy? And interestingly enough, there is a member of the Rothschilds family who is very prominent. His name is, and I don't know if YouTube's going to take me down for this, but his name is David Mayer de Rothschild. His surname famously call back to the OG Rothschilds, the original banker, Mayer Rothschild. So if you try to type in David Mayer de Rothschild in ChatGPT, nothing pops up. You can type in almost every other Rothschild and it'll pop up. But if you type in David Mayer, even if you ask ChatGPT, who is David Mayer Rothschild, he will not be able to tell you. It will literally say there was an error. I tried typing this 14 times, but Wikipedia does know who David Mayer de Rothschild is. So let's dive into who David Mayer de Rothschild is. He is a member of the Jewish Rothschilds family, the youngest of 3 children by Victoria Lou Schott and Sir Evelyn de Rothschild. God, these people have the fucking weirdest names. The Rothschild banking family of England. So he's from the England group. His middle name Mayer is taken from the OG, the original Rothschild, Mayer Armshell Rothschild, the youngest heir to his family's banking fortune. Rothschild was born in London, England in 1978. So what does he do? What's this guy's up to? So he is a it says here he is a sculpt the future of foundation. So what is he? So he's like an adventurer. As a teenager, was top ranked horse jumper. I mean, these people have the weird. Rich people, listen. Rich people have the weirdest hobbies. This guy's a top ranked horse jumper in Britain's junior event. He later gave up the sport to pursue his education, stating in an interview, "I realized there is more to life than spending hours and hours and hours on a horse." Let's see. He received a degree in political science and information systems. By age 20, had started his own music merchandise business and sold it. He bought a 1.1k acre organic farm in New Zealand. He was invited to take part in a polar expedition. Now, guys, I don't want to go too far into the Arctic theories and what's going on in the Arctic and the Antarctic. He had already become only one of 14 people ever to... So, David Mayer de Rothschild is one of the 14 people in the world to travel to the continent of Antarctica. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go into this. This is just weird. What's going on in Antarctica, and why does he want to go there? Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. So, he's like a music guy. He's an adventure ecologist, whatever that is. These guys are the weirdest people. I gotta sneeze again. God. Yeah, rich people are just so weird. Oh man. Okay. Let's move along. Let's move out of the Rothschilds area. We're gonna start talking about the Arctic. We might talk about giants. We're talking about Patagonia. We will get off track if we start talking about the Antarctica, and we don't want to get off track that much. So. Let's see. Let's go back onto the news. Let's get on track here. Let's get on track. We need this. We need this to get on track. Do you believe in life after love? God, my voice. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry to everyone. The NFL draft. So not the NFL draft. We play this sound anytime Donald Trump has a new draft pick. So this draft pick is actually a swap. So they are trading Republican Matt Gaetz is dropping out. And he's being replaced by... Who is he being replaced by? There was someone he's being replaced by. Oh, goddamn. Honestly, I don't know who's replacing Matt Gaetz, but... Matt Gaetz, I mean, this guy seems like a real douchebag. It seems like not only a douchebag, but a freak, a real deviant. So apparently he was trafficking. He has been under investigation by the Justice Department for alleged sex trafficking in a case involving a 17-year-old. The department didn't press charges, but House Ethics Committee was still investigating the matter until Gaetz resigned. So... this guy's a real piece of shit. But, I mean, he's doing cameos on... Matt Gaetz is now on Cameo. Meet others. They're selling selfie videos. So Matt Gaetz is now doing cameos for $500 for a birthday wishes, wedding congratulations, pep talks, and roasts for the people doing very strange, utterly German things. Weird. I saw this on Tim Dillon, but... he tried to get Matt Gaetz to do a cameo for him. Tried to have Matt Gaetz say that he was canceling his Tuesday or whatever, and doing his dates. But it's pretty good bit. But yeah, so Matt Gaetz is demoted. We've got another NFL draft. We got another Trump draft pick. Okay, who is it? We've got John Ratcliffe, nominated for the CIA director. Oh, okay, I found out. Okay, Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is the replacement for Matt Gaetz. This just in, Pam Bondi to be traded for Matt Gaetz. What we know about former Florida Attorney General. So this is a lady, and I'm going to be honest, she is... Not bad. Bondi was Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2019. She was the chair of Center for Litigation, American First Policy, blah, 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 blah. Bondi worked on Trump's first impeachment. She also endorsed him for Florida's presidential primary ahead of Senator Mark Rubio. Trump gave $20,000 political Bondi. So this lady, this girl is now replacing for Attorney General, AG. All right, cool. Also, I don't know who any of these people are, but we got Scott Bassett. Here we go. New draft pick. Scott Bassett. Besant? Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary, the first openly gay man to hold the position. Take that, liberals. If he's so racist and bigoted, why did he put a gay man to be the Secretary of Treasury? Huh. It's not adding up. Something's not adding up. Why don't we check Blue Sky and see what Blue Sky has to say about it? The billionaire from South Carolina. Oh, great. I mean, this guy's a billionaire. He's a billionaire gay man, openly gay man, which can only mean one thing. The billionaire from South Carolina is a former Democrat supporter. He later turned into a staunch Trump advocate and managed to win the trust of Republican leaders in his inner circle. He has been a major fundraiser for Trump. Okay, cool. The fiscal hawk advocating tax cuts. Besant supports extending provisions of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act signed by Donald Trump, a move that projected to cost $6 trillion to $10 trillion over a decade to the U.S. Treasury. Cool. I don't know what any of this means. Oh my God. He has ties to George Soros? Besant spent his career in finance, working for macro investment billionaire George Soros and noted short seller Jim Chanos. He had an influential role in Soros's London investment operations, including his famous 1992 bet against the pound, which generated huge profits on Black Wednesday when the pound was delinked from the European. Okay, yeah, so this is how George Soros got all of his money. He completely fucked over the pound, and he manipulated currencies. That's how George Soros got money, and this guy was part of that. So, you know, not awesome. We don't like to see that. We don't like to see anyone connected to George Soros. But then again, who isn't connected to George Soros? In order to be considered for any position in politics, you have to be connected to money. That's the only way. That's because this place runs on money. The people that give you money want you to succeed and are willing to pay for you. You don't get places without people in your corner. That's really what it comes down to. And this guy has some pretty big people in his corner. Yeah. Is he compromised by Jeffrey Epstein's like situations? Yes, probably. He's an openly gay individual. He probably has Snapchat videos of him on the Senate floor being gaped by a young male prostitute. This is what it is. This is how politics functions in America. This is America. USA. 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 This is what it is. It's about America is about having an openly gay man as the Treasury Secretary who has connections to the man who collapsed the British pound, who was his right-hand man, his OG, his butt buddy, and probably, honestly, his concubine, if we're being honest. But I digress. We're just gonna continue on. Some Epstein news. Oh God, I need water. Okay, we got Epstein news. What's going on with Epstein? So this is from Wired. Wired actually, every now and then Wired will do a good job. Wired this time
Jellyfish.
Doing a bit of a deep dive on the Epstein situation. So I like to anytime Epstein stuff pops up on my radar, I look into it because it is this is the reason why I find Epstein interesting, is because it is so, if you had told anyone in 2007 that there was a billionaire sex ring where they were trafficking children to an island for billionaires and politicians in a blackmail operation, they would have looked at you like you were clinically insane. Fast forward to 2019, when all this comes out, everything comes out. Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the Little Black Book, everything comes out as fact, as truth, and as not a conspiracy theory. That's why I find this so compelling. It's because this is one of the things that really woke me up to how fucked things are. And then you have to ask the question, of course, well, is this the only island? You're telling me one island. You're telling me it's over. Hey, guys, it's over. It's over. There is no more sex trafficking happening on the planet because we got Jeffrey Epstein. You're telling me that's true. Because I have a very hard time believing that it was an isolated incident. But that being said, that's why I'm deeply interested in Epstein, because it was like the main thing that, I mean, I was 18 when it came out. It was formative years. It was interesting. So Wired did a bit of a deep dive, so I'm going to let this guy talk.
Buildings of origins and the paths they took to get mobile phones belonging to visitors to his infamous pedophile island. The data was so precise, we were able to map the paths of these visitors to within centimeters, including their neighborhoods, buildings of origins, and the paths they took to get.
So this guy might die. I don't know how he found it, but there's a company called like Near. Yeah, here it is.
Broker with ties to the Defense Department. These red dots on the map represent some of the 11,279 coordinates I obtained. They were left exposed online by a location data broker with ties to the Defense Department called Near Intelligence, now known as Zera. Between 2016 and Epstein's final arrest in 2019, Near collected data on more than 200 cell phones that visited the island.
So this guy has the data on 200 cell phones that were connected to Jeffrey Epstein's island. So he has their flight patterns, where they came from, where they went, where did they come from, where did they go, Cotton Eye Joe.
Left. The data reveals the locations of visitors 30 minutes before and after arriving on the island, which shows us the exact routes everyone took to get there. Some landed here, at the Cyril E. King Airport on neighboring St. Thomas Island. With its private...
Now, I tried to do some research in who owns this island. It is very hard to find out who owns islands. So if anyone wants to help me and find out for me, that'd be awesome.
Jet and VIP terminals, it was the go-to hub for Epstein's 200-seater Boeing 727 plane dubbed Lolita Express. We see data points clustered at various area beaches, hotels, and luxury resorts, including the Ritz-Carlton Hotel here. To get to Epstein's island, many visitors got on a boat at a designated dock at the American Yacht Harbor, a private marina on...
So this yacht harbor is interesting because it's a bit of a yacht. It's a yacht club. And if you know anything about yacht club, one of the most famous during the NFT boom of COVID-19, the most famous one was the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Just interesting that it was a yacht club themed NFT.
St. Thomas, co-owned by Epstein at the time. From there, we see a flow of movement through Great St. James Island, the larger island just to the north, which Epstein purchased in 2016 for
okay. Epstein owned
$22 million. He had hoped to develop it, but was met with legal challenges after damaging the island's coral reefs and protected habitats. The data then traces visitors' movements as they are ferried to Epstein's private dock on Little St. James. Epstein also had a helipad on the island and owned at least one helicopter, a Sikorsky S-76, which he used often to transport himself, guests, pleaded guilty in 2008, and served jail time for procuring a minor for prostitution. If we keep following the data trail and we widen our view, we'll see that the tracking of visitors continues once they have left the island and presumably gone back home.
This is interesting. So these spots on the map, we have where people came from. We've got Michigan. We've got Minnesota. We've got a lot on the East Coast. We've got a lot in Florida. We've got some in Texas. A lot in Texas. So those are hot spots. Texas, Florida, all of the East Coast. We're talking like New York, Rhode Island. We're talking New Jersey. Then we're talking Michigan. So these are some major zones.
Near intelligence data we uncovered pinpoints 166 locations throughout the United States in 80 cities across 26 states. Topping the list were Florida, Massachusetts, Texas, Michigan, and New York. The data points are labeled as common evening locations or common daytime locations, typically their homes or work. Many of the visitors were likely wealthy, as indicated by coordinates pointing to gated communities in Michigan, as well as...
I think this guy should 100% release the names of these individuals. And he says at the end of this, I'm not going to play the entire video, but he says in the end that he doesn't want to release the names because they could have been people that just worked there. And I say to that, release the names, and then they can say, hey, I just worked there. And if someone like David Mayer de Rothschild is saying he just worked there, then we'll start asking questions. But if it's, let's say, Pablo Sanchez, and he says I just worked there, maybe we believe that one, right? So I'm saying release the names, and then we can make our own decisions. And once we hear the people's claims and say, hey, there was a list of names, I just want to say that I just worked there. I wasn't partaking. And his name is, David Mayer de Rothschild. Oh, odd. But, that's all I want. I want to see the names. I want to know who's there. I want to see Tom Hanks' name, and I want to see Oprah Winfrey's name. But I will put this video in the description below so you guys can check it out before it's probably gone and that guy is probably dead. Maybe my sickness is a direct targeted weapon at my sinuses. Have we thought about that? Direct energy weapon? Okay. Let's continue. My sweet, sweet King Jersey Mike. So Jersey Mike's, if you remember last episode, I was talking about Jersey Mike's. God, I love Jersey Mike's. I love their food. I like how they slice the meat in front of you. I don't care that the meat looks like it's a block of meat. It's nice that they slice it in front of you so you know it's sliced. You know where it came from. You see it. I like that. And they load it up. They give you a lot of meat, right? And they juice it up. They put it on the juice. But unfortunately, Blackstone, a subsidiary of BlackRock, which was, guys, nice try. Nice try. I'm too smart for that. You think you could get one over on me by naming your company BlackRock instead of Blackstone? Or Blackstone instead of BlackRock? Guys, I see through you. Blackstone strikes $8 billion deal to buy sandwich chain Jersey Mike's subs. It's a sad day. A moment of silence for Jersey Mike's. Now being eaten, literally the entire company being eaten by subsidiary of BlackRock. Let's get to the good part. The song always makes me want to cry. It's my Irish blood. My Irish blood. Bagpipes just make me want to cry. I literally think it's my Irish blood. I think bagpipes instantly make me want to cry. And I don't cry. Bagpipes just do shit. Blackstone has agreed to buy Jersey Mike's subs, the sandwich chain said on Tuesday, in a deal that the source said valued the company at around $8 billion, including debt. Reuters had reported on Monday, citing a person familiar with the matter, that Blackstone was nearing a deal on Jersey Mike's. The deal, which is expected to close early 2025, underscores private equity firms' increased interest in franchise operations. Last year, PE firm Roark Capital agreed to buy Subway, Jersey Mike's bigger rival. Also, if you eat at Subway, you're a rat. but apparently somehow Subway is valued at $9.55 billion. Subway sucks. It's a sad day. We believe there are still in the early innings of Jersey Mike's growth story, and that Blackstone is the right partner to help us reach even greater heights, said the CEO of Jersey Mike's founder, Peter Cancro, which is the original creator of it.
Expectations. A popular sandwich chain is getting gobbled up, and the number of Americans planning to host Thanksgiving dinner is down. Here's a look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
More people are shopping at big
so far. It's
investment firm Blackstone to buy Jersey Mike's subs. Wall Street Journal says it's valuing the sandwich chain at around $8 billion, including debt. Jersey Mike's is the nation's second largest sub chain after Subway. It has more than 3,000 locations. And a shockingly low number of Americans are planning Thanksgiving gatherings this year.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't want to. I don't want to leave off on a really sad story about Jersey Mike's becoming one with the enemy, selling out to big black. Big Black includes Blackstone, BlackRock, Blacked.com, probably. But yeah, I will be eating at Firehouse Subs. God, please tell me BlackRock doesn't own Firehouse Subs. If they do, I'm gonna cry. I don't, and this is why I don't like Blackstone owning everything. It's because once a company owns everything that you ingest, then they can start selling you bugs, and you don't have an option. And then they can start giving you lab-grown meat, and you don't have an option. And then they can start giving you massive amounts of atrazine, which is the chemical that makes the frogs gay. They can start incorporating red dye 40s, stuff like that. We could start seeing some weird shit in those meats. GMOs. We don't know what they're doing. If they stop cutting the meat in front of me, I'm going to lose it. But they're in the quote unquote early innings of the growth, so we'll see. All right. Let's continue on. Well, let's go to TikTok time. We're gonna finish this off with some light stuff. This has been a pretty heavy episode, and guys, I'm sick. Start off with the new Jaguar rebrand. Also, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, this is satanic. This is satanic. I don't know what this is. Why is Jaguar becoming like a weird gay company? They've got this guy wearing a red bodysuit and tights. They've got this guy wearing a donut on his hip. They look like the Teletubbies. Live Vivid. They've got this guy in all red, satanic, blood, occult, painting white stripes. This guy in an upside down world, wearing a dress. A man wearing a dress, but yes. With a sledgehammer. What does this mean? What am I looking at? What does the symbolism mean? Break molds. Break molds. Yes, be a man in a dress. Holding a sledgehammer. Break molds. Everything has a symbol, and I don't know what these are, like subliminal messages. To put together an ad like this, especially an entire rebrand ad, goes through so many layers. So many layers. This is something that they've been working on for years. I'm talking years. Like, this is an entire several people have been paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with this over the course of a year, probably, before they were. So everything you see was chosen exactly where it's supposed to be. The music, the pacing, they had years to plan this. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a meaning. Subliminal blue, red, yellow sledgehammer. Weird. What is this? What is this? A completely bald man. Look right. Straight back at you. Copy nothing. Now, it looks like they're on Mars. Are they on Mars? What is going on? Jaguar. And also, this logo is the shittiest logo. The Jaguar needs to go back immediately. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but we live in the worst timeline possible. Oh, here's a funny clip. This is a funny clip from Ellen.
What is the date? What is the date today? I completely, and Thursday. The 20th. I was.
So this is a bunch of kids with cancer. She's, and also the background on Ellen, by the way, is Epstein's Island.
Completely wrong, wasn't I? I had the dates wrong all this time. Diddy, come on out. He's.
Oh no, Diddy, no. Also, look at see these blue and white bars behind these kids. This is the motif that's on Jeffrey Epstein's temple. But so yeah, so this is a weird clip. I'll just let it play.
Diddy, come on out. He's.
Yeah, so they started playing boss music. I don't know why these kids are running to. They're running to P. Diddy. I mean, this is bad. Now, P. Diddy's holding this girl with cancer. And then this kid with one arm hugs him. What is going on? This is just crazy. Oh, I forgot the day. Ellen definitely knew the day, by the way.
I was completely wrong, wasn't I? It's wrong. All this time. Diddy, come on out. He's.
Diddy, that was Diddy's favorite day of all time. That's crazy. Diddy, come on out. Come on out.
Watch out, AJ!
Okay, so Big Justice is apparently in wrestling, like WWE wrestling now, so...
In the face! Pump kick got him. On target.
Now,
So I don't know how... So this is just upsetting. So the Costco kids, famous for eating a Costco chocolate chunk cookie and a chicken bake and saying, we're Costco guys, have now risen to the fame of wrestling. Live WWE wrestling.
Big Boom AJ took his eyes off of QT Marshall just for a moment.
Is anyone's match at this point?
Also, he's making the triangle here. Also, who goes to wrestling? Who like watches in the stands?
Oh no!
Big Justice. Spear. He smoked him. So yeah. Love that clip. Well, let's watch a couple more. This is Russia's. These are called ICBMs. So I don't know what they're called, but they look really trippy. And as I understand it, every one of these could have been a nuke, and this was a message to Ukraine from Russia, Putin himself, saying, "Hey, I could have nuked you 1 billion times." So it's like raining, and it just looks like rain from heaven, breaking through the clouds, just a torrent of missiles. And this is apparently the first time this specific weapon has ever been used. And it's shooting a barrage of probably 100 little ballistic missiles. And it just comes from the sky. I mean, it honestly looks really cool. But it is not cool, by the way. It's not cool, but it looks cool. Let's watch a couple more. we'll watch this. This is a video of a guy who tries to rob a nail parlor, a nail salon, and they do not care. And it's good.
Everybody get down! Give me all the money! It's got the money! Give me all the money! Get down!
No one has done a single. No one moves. No one's not even. She's trying to leave. She's just standing up. I'm out of here.
Where's the money? Everybody give me everything!
Everybody give me everything. You know you lost when you have to ask for that.
Where's the money? Everybody give me everything!
He has his hand in a bag like he's holding a gun.
Where's the money?
Where's the money? She's just looking. She's like, who the hell are you, bro? Get out of here. And now he's just shrugging. He's like, God damn it. I guess I'm out. So then he just leaves. After failing a robbery. God, that's embarrassing. Everybody, give me everything. All right. Let's end this on one of my new favorite Bitcoins. Oh, actually, I'll read this tweet by Stanley Kubrick's daughter. And I'm just going to leave this out there. I'm just going to throw this out there. Yes, this is Vivian Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick's daughter. Vivian Kubrick says, yes, Michelle Obama is partly a transsexual, as he still has his man parts, although rather shrunken. Doubtless the female hormones did that. Michelle was originally Michael, Barry's boyfriend. In some videos you can find online, Barack, calls him Michael by accident. I have played one of those videos. It is very strange to call someone a male name on accident, especially when you're dating them. Some transsexuals are fortunate enough to transition very successfully. Also, Michelle Obama's book is called Becoming Michelle, which is weird. Yeah, so just strange that she would shout that out. Just wanted to bring that to the attention. Okay, now we're going to play this last video. This is a new cryptocurrency that is becoming popular.
The Nigga Chain, the first fully AI layer 2 blockchain built on Solana by niggas for niggas. LLM Lotta Lil Money's technology. Proof of nigga entry scan system. Broke nigga detection software. Thermodynamic bag chaser 1 Gorillion TPS. Nigga Chain. Yeah, I'm finna bridge.
Yeah, I think we might be in a bubble, guys. There might be too many coins out there. We've got shitcoin. There's Diddy coin out there, guys. Guys, invest in Diddy coin. Invest in I can't say that word, but the one I just played, N-word Jane. And stay safe. And I mean, honestly, if you like this video, please share with a friend. If you didn't, tell me why below, and I'll leave you with this. Goodbye.